Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Yoga Mini on opening. We're gonna start on our backs here in a supine butterfly position. So if you have a pillow or a bolster or something similar, this could be a fun tool. You could also just be on your back on the ground, really up to you. If you are using that pillow or that bolster, try to find kind of a long position here. Bring the hips against the back of that bolster or that pillow and start to recline your head and your back against the pillow or maybe against the earth. Soles of the feet can come together to touch, knees wide. This is a lot of sensation in the hips to begin with. See if you can walk the feet a little further away from the body. Another option is to bring blocks underneath kind of the thighs here or the knees, whatever is accessible. And remember, the blocks can kind of rotate here, or if you don't have blocks, it could be a pillow or a book, something similar. Once you find that place where it's some sensation, maybe a little uncomfortable, but something you can breathe and hold. See if you can start to focus on that breath. Maybe bring one hand to the heart here, one hand to the belly, or both hands to the belly, your choice. You can close the eyes and start to feel the open expansion in the chest here, and especially in the hips. We're not tugging with our muscles to bring the legs down. Instead, just try to soften the inner thighs and let gravity do the work. Focusing on the breath here. Think about breathing deep into the belly, letting the breath rise through the rib cage up to the top of the chest. So filling in that direction from bottom to top. And then exhale, see if you can relax the breath in the other direction. So releasing the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. Again, inhale, fill up from the bottom. Exhale, go ahead and release in the opposite direction, just softening like a wave down from the top to the bottom. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale, if your hands are on the body, you can feel that bottom hand rise and then the top. Exhale, let it soften from the chest down to the belly. 2 more breaths like this. You can imagine it's like a wave coming in and out. Good. Just stay here for maybe 3 more breaths on your own. These could be natural deep breaths, or maybe it's kind of that wave-like breath filling up from the bottom and moving the opposite direction on the exhale. Seeing if you can soften the inner thighs any more. Soften the shoulders, the forehead and the jaw. Good, and then when you're ready, we can bring the hands to the outsides of the thighs and kind of close our legs together like a book. So take your time, bring the feet underneath you. If you're on a pillow or a bolster, just kind of roll to the side here, find another way off your prop, and come all the way to the spine. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little side to side. Good, and then from here, go ahead and plant the feet in front of you so that the fingertips, if they were on the ground, could kind of graze the backs of the heels. And then the right leg can lift here, and the right ankle can start to stack over the left thigh. Open up the right hip. So if you already feel some sensation here in this kind of figure 4 shape, you can stay here, breathing through this kind of sensation. Keep the right foot flexed here. Or if you feel like you have a little more space to move, maybe we can lift that left foot and bring the right hand in through this little loop we've created. Left hand's gonna meet behind this left thigh, and you're gonna interlace the fingers to bring the legs closer to the body. Good, both feet can stay active and flexed here. And the right elbow can press against the right leg here to open up the hip more, and the hands can pull the legs closer to the chest, again, to kind of increase that sensation. But again, we're finding a place that we can breathe. It can be uncomfortable, it can be warm, radiant sensation. But if it feels sharp, shooting electric, or like you really can't breathe through it, maybe take a step back or lower the leg. Good, continue to breathe, especially deep down to that belly, towards that sensation that you're feeling in the legs and the hips. This is our supine pigeon, or our figure 4. Take 1 or 2 more breaths. Good, and then just start to slowly lower that left foot, uncross the legs, bring both feet nice and wide here, and windshield wiper the legs side to side. Notice if you're feeling any difference in sensation in one leg versus the other. It's probably going to feel a little different since we've only done one side in this kind of supine pigeon. But it's okay if it doesn't as well. Good, just take a little bit of, especially focusing on this internal rotation, because we've been kind of externally rotating our hips. That's when our legs are kind of going away from the body. The internal rotations when we're bringing it back towards that midline, the center of the body. So we're trying to kind of counter some of that external rotation we've been doing. Good, and then eventually we'll bring those feet back to that kind of hip width distance place. And the left leg can lift, left ankle can cross over the right thigh. We can lift the right foot or keep the right foot planted, your choice. If the right leg's lifted, you can bring the left hand through that loop you've created, meet the right hand, interlace the fingers. Again, this left elbow can work to press the knee and the leg away from the body on the left side, and the hands can work to pull the right leg especially close to the body. Feet can stay active here. Breath can stay loose and deep towards that sensation you're feeling. So imagine you could breathe all the way down into the hips, into the legs. Good, take 2 more breaths. Great work. Let's start to lower the legs here. Uncross the left ankle. Again, plant the feet wide. Just take 1 or 2 of these windshield wipery motions here with the knees. And then we're going to bring the knees back into the chest when you're ready, and bring the hands to the kneecaps here. Good, you can rock side to side for a moment, whatever you need. And then using the hands, we're going to spread the knees out towards the armpits. So we're opening up. Imagine you're in that kind of butterfly position. That's how your knees are spreading here, so that you're creating that opening in the hips. With that space you've created in the legs, you can use your hands to reach to the inside of the knees so that you can grab for the shins, or maybe all the way to the feet, the outside edges of the feet, or the inside edges, your choice. Find a place where you feel like you can really hold on, and once you find that place, lift the feet towards the sky. Good, so if you can grab for those feet, you can rock a little side to side here. Try to keep the tailbone kind of low towards the ground, so we're not lifting the tailbone off the ground. Try to keep the back nice and neutral and planted, but we can rock side to side. You can play with straightening one leg and the other. This is our happy baby. So if we're playing around in our happy baby, another thing to think about is really just letting the knees feel heavy towards the armpits, so the hands and the feet are coming close towards the ground. Or maybe we're playing with some of those organic movements. And the breath is still being directional, sending deep towards the belly and then filling up through the chest. And exhaling to reverse that direction. Good. Option to stay here. Another place we can play with here is with one leg or with both legs. We can play with straightening the leg more, and if we can't reach that foot, you could just reach onto the leg here. And find more of like a straddle position here, opening the legs. If you had like a towel or a strap, you could bring it to the edges of the feet here, or you can just kind of hold on to your pant leg here, or kind of lower down in the leg. Doesn't need to be anything super crazy. There can still be a bend in the knees. Just kind of playing around with different ways to open the hips, or we can stay in this happy baby. So take 2 or 3 more breaths wherever you want to play. And then when we're ready, we're going to slowly release the hands, bring the legs closer together, back into the chest. Just roll the ankles for a moment, point and flex the feet, relax the feet. And then plant the feet towards the earth. Go ahead and drop both knees to the right, open up the right shoulder, just bring the gaze out to the left. Sorry, the left shoulder, left arm is going to expand. Breathe deep into the belly. Good, let the knees come back through center. Drop both the knees off to the left. Open up the right arm and right shoulder this time. Gaze can go to the right. Big deep breath. Let both knees come back through center. Feet can plant really wide towards the edges of the mat. And then find that place where your knees can kind of knock together to touch. This is our constructive rest. Hands can come to the belly or beside you, palms facing up. Close the eyes, take a few deep breaths. Allow yourself to have this kind of closure and internal rotation of the hips after all of that opening. And remain here breathing for as long as you'd like.